Hey guys, what's up? It's Kelly with Priority Farm Journal, and it's been forever. And I just wanted to talk to you about that real quick before I got into like the main part of the video. So the whole reason that it's been forever is we are a homesteading family of 7. And during the spring and summer, there's always a lot going on because we have different animals throughout the different seasons that we're raising, and it's like crunch time for gardening because we have such a short growing season here. And also I'm planning for the upcoming homeschool year, so I always have all of that stuff going on during this time of year. And so I really wanted to pray and make sure that this is what the Lord would have me do, because I wanted the videos and just Priority Farm Journal in general to be an encouragement to people, to be helpful, and most importantly, to be an opportunity to give the gospel and speak about Jesus. And I wanted to make sure it was all those things, and it wasn't just me wanting to do these videos or just a hobby, which there's nothing wrong with that, but for our specific situation and us personally to take the time to do this, I wanted to make sure that it was something that was encouraging and helpful for people, and that I wasn't just doing it for myself. So I took some time to pray and just wait on the Lord, and I in that time received some very encouraging emails and messages from people that were watching my videos. And with all that, I really felt like the Lord was leading me to continue. So that's why it took so long to post up another video. Thank you so much for being patient, and I hope you understand. And from here on out, I would like to be more consistent with my posting. So that being said, I wanted to let you guys know that, and I figured while letting you guys know that, I would also do a quick flip through, since it's been a few months, of my current planners and how I've kind of changed things up or what I'm doing differently in them right now. So this right here is my Jesus journal. It's a Planner Perfect wide poppy, and I will flip through that and show you what I have going on with that. I'll probably first start with my everyday carry planner, which is in the wide Jade, also by Planner Perfect, as you can see there. All right. So I'm still loving the Jade. I love this color, and I just felt like for me it was perfect for spring and summer. But I will be switching it up and transitioning into my hazel, and you'll see that in my September Planner Perfect unboxing and monthly setup video. But for now I'm in this, and I have my TWSBI yellow. It's kind of like a marigold color, and this one is a fine tip. And then I also like to have my bold tip one in here too, for just different accent things that I use. I have my current Planner Perfect tip-ins here, and I keep them right there. This is a good place to keep your stickers, but I have just found, I don't know if it's because I stuff this so full and make it so chunky, but I always end up bending them when I stick them in here, so I've just been setting them back here. So here's what I currently have. I actually have 5 journals in here, as opposed to it normally holds 4. But I have this extension band that I got on Amazon, and I'll show you how it works just in case you haven't seen this, and in case you were wondering if you could shove another journal in there, you totally can. So you can get these on Amazon. It just looks like a giant rubber band for your hair. And then what you do is you take your two journals, put it in the middle, and then flip this one facing that way. And then this one you'll put in the middle. And then you have them like that. And then you'll take the band that's part of your traveler's notebook and you'll slip it in like that. And then boom, you can fit another one in there. It's awesome. Okay, so first with the flip throughs, I have my 12-month planner in here as always. And each month as I get my new subscription box, I just update anything that I need to with plans that I haven't already put in, and then I decorate it. And I haven't been using my pages that are in between months, really. I mean, in my head, I was gonna do some meal planning here, but that is just kind of not how I roll. I kind of just use what I have on hand, and we always have all our meats because we grow our own meat. We raise our own meat, so I just use what's on hand. So I haven't really utilized this to its full potential. So if you're really good about using these pages, I would love for you to comment below and tell me how you're using yours so I can get some ideas on what I might want to put in here. So that's all the same. And then I still have my cleaning loops here. I have the deep cleaning loop, my declutter loop, where I just slide things down as I do the next thing. The bedding for our laundry bedding, and then the daily loop, which is each room, and I just slide it down as I am able to squeeze in maybe 15 minutes here or there. And then when I finish all the daily things for that room, I just move on to the next thing. So that is pretty much all still running the same. Here I have my monthly planner, and I've been trying to, like, in the monthly section for this, I don't want to just like transfer things over. So I've been trying to just utilize that monthly for any workouts or any just kind of health things that I want to put in there. And so let's see, I'll show you an example of, what day are we on? Here's kind of an example of how my days have been looking. I just put this in here to mark the day. But I switched things up with how I was decorating for the day and the month and the date. I had been writing it in hand lettering in the middle, which I love for a while, but I always have to every so often switch things up so I don't get bored. So I decided to go with a little banner here. And like, honestly, it does take longer to do this, but to me it was worth it to switch things up, and just, I like the way it looks, so it's worth it to me. So there's that. And honestly, there have been a lot of times where there's blank things this month, blank days in my planner, and I'm totally fine with that. I mean, it's been summer, and so I just gave myself grace in that, and it's fine if there's blank days sometimes. But now that we're leaning into fall, getting closer to it, I'm kind of getting back on track with my daily planning. So that is pretty much the gist of that. Right now, the reason I have 5 in here is because I have my Priority Farm Journal planner in here, and I'm actually, today I just ordered a wide Audrey, like the second it was released. I'm so stoked to get that because this is gonna match perfect in there. And I also added a couple of other journals that are specific to YouTube and Instagram, but for right now I just have these tabs on each month, and then what I try to do is I'll write when I'm going to film and when I'm going to post, and then this is a 12-month, if I didn't say that already. It's a 12-month planner, and so then I utilize the monthly that way. And then how you get 4 in between pages, I made them lined instead of graphed like my other one. And just on each one, like I'll have one page for YouTube and then one for Instagram, which I haven't done that too much. That's more been kind of like organic posting, but I want to get a little bit more intentional and plan that better. But my YouTube, I just write out the different ideas for the month, and then once I get the other journals, I'll just go into more detail in those about what exactly it's going to be like involved in those specific videos. So for right now it's in here, and that's why I need 5, but I will be having a separate planner for that, and I'll do a flip through of it once that's all set up. But for now, she's there. This, I know this is from May, but I'm like really slow at filling it in. This is my nature journal. I'm having one along with all of my children have their own. That's in a mixed media notebook, but I have this in my planner, and I haven't been keeping up with it like I want to, but the idea is there, and I plan on soon. I have so let me just show you what I'm doing. I'm printing out my pictures from my Canon Ivy from like nature walks we go on, from any hikes we go on, or even just daily nature observations, things like that. And my plan is to title it and date it, and then put the details around the pictures. Once in a while I will do some watercolor in here, but I find that if I'm like specifically in my head planning like, okay, it's a nature journal, it's going to be all watercolor and drawing, then I get kind of like overwhelmed and make it too big of a deal, and then I don't do it. So I'd rather at least do it somehow, even though it's not all going to be watercolor, which I always think is so beautiful, but I need to be more practical in this season of life, what is actually going to get done. And for me, that's taking the pictures and then filling in the details and writing around it. So I have all the pictures in my phone. I just need to update it and print them out and write in the details. So I'm hoping to get better about that, especially now that my children are doing their nature journals more often. So there's that, and there's the plans for it. And I will do a more detailed video about my nature journal, and by then I am hoping to have it updated and have more to show you in that. My last one, this was the journal that came with last month's, well, yeah, it came with August. And I've been kind of saving the journals to use as my nature journals once I'm finished with this, but this one I felt was perfect for a commonplace book. And so I made this my commonplace book, and if you don't know what that is, it's just kind of simply a place where you can keep quotes and important, like if you really liked a paragraph in a certain book or something like that, this is where you would keep all of that. And so I have mine that I've begun, and I haven't gotten super deep into it, but I have thrown in a few quotes there, and I have so many more that I would like to add. And again, I'll just have to be intentional and sit down and gather the quotes I want to add and get it done. But this is kind of a simple one to keep up on, and it's nice to have a place like that, because there's always like some kind of quote or something someone says or something you read where you're like, oh, I want to remember that. And so this is a good place to be kind of a catch-all for that stuff. So there you go. That is my current planner setup. So I'll put that aside. Now, my Jesus journal. Okay. I think this hasn't changed too much. I still have my prayer journal with all the different sections labeled for my whole family, and then for extended family, ministries and leaders, friends, my state and the nation, neighbors, and world. Now, I could keep it in friends, which I am doing, but I think in the future, if I was going to do it again, I think I'd have a separate tab also specifically for my church family. But I can do that next time, and it's not a big deal. I can put them in with friends. Just an idea if you're setting up one right now for yourself. That might be something to consider. I still have this for scripture, and I was just keeping it to pieces of scripture that I was memorizing, but then I felt like I wasn't using it enough, and I felt like there's so many times when there's different pieces of scripture that stand out to me and I feel are worth noting and even making a little note with it. So I decided to just, any scripture I came across that stood out to me, to write it, and even a little note about why it stood out to me then. So that's how that's going, and I've been utilizing it more now that I kind of left it open to different kinds of scripture. And okay, so this, I had started using this journal for something else, but then I didn't need it for that. So it was kind of just sitting on the shelf. And so that's why I have this little section taped right here of how I had started to, but now I'm not. There is kind of some personal stuff in here, so I'm not, the page I have filled out right now, I'm not gonna show, but I am gonna do a more detailed video on specifically this journal and how I utilize it, and I will have more pages filled out then, and some that I can show you to give you an idea of what it is. So I call this Captive Thoughts, and this is for when I'm struggling with certain thoughts like discouragements or depression, or just certain thoughts that I know aren't right or aren't biblical. I just put on one side thoughts and on the other side truth, and I'll put what my thought is, and then I'll look through scripture and find God's truth about that kind of combats that negative, unbiblical thought. And that really just helps me to take my thoughts captive and to really focus on the truth and not just letting my mind wander into like negative things. So again, I'll do a more detailed video on that. This is what I use this most for. It can be for study and things like that, but I'm utilizing it most for notes at church. So we have our regular Sunday study in Revelation, and then we have a Thursday Bible study, and we've been going through some Psalms. So this is where I keep my notes during that. And then last, this is my prayer journal, not to be confused with this one, which this is just bullet point listed out prayers for everyone so I can keep track of it and be intentional about praying for each person. This is where I actually write out prayers as a letter to God. And that's just something I like to do. I don't like get caught up in having to do this every single time I pray, because then I wouldn't be praying as much, because it's slower and a whole extra thing I have to do. But sometimes I do like to write out my prayers, and it just really helps me to get deeper into that conversation with the Lord. So there's that. And I have my TWSBI fine tip here, and then this is a broad tip, and I have I can't remember, I think it's some kind of cherry blossom color, but it's like a pink color, and I use that to write out my prayers in this back journal, just to add a little color. So that is what's currently going on in my Jesus journal. So that's just a brief little flip through with an explanation on why I've been MIA for a little while. And I just want to say again, thank you for all of your encouragement and your comments, and it's nice to be back, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time on the farm.